Hey guys, I usually don't get too serious. I'm new to this neighborhood picks, but I just wanted to go over a problem that's occurring in sports. And it's not a racial problem. It's just saying things, always giving your take when it's not always the right time and place. Life is timing. And there's always a time and a place for everything and where it's a good place for it. Now, when Kyrie Irving went over the line and said all those things about Jewish people, there's no debate on that. And I'm really disappointed when I look at platforms and I hear certain people say to other people, "Oh, did you see LeBron went against Kyrie?" Whoa, whoa, forget about against Kyrie. Moral compass. You have to have a moral compass in life. You do what's right, you know what's right, and you know what's wrong. You're supposed to do what's right. Now, I applaud LeBron James for saying there was no place for that with Kyrie. Because a lot of people, we talk a lot about education, but there's a lack of. I happen to have a very, very strong understanding of the Holocaust. My grandfather, my mom's dad, who just passed away recently at almost 100 years old, we had a very close connection, and he was like a best friend to me. And he told me all his stories. And when Hitler was invading, he was invading Poland, and they were capturing everyone. And my grandfather escaped Europe to get to America at 24, 25 years old, not knowing one word of English. And the man was retired by 50, owned gas stations, apartment buildings, self-made man. So another thing is when I hear these excuses that because somebody might grow up in a hard spot, that doesn't mean you can't get out. Because I happen to have a firsthand account in my family. My hero, my grandfather, came over, not a word of English, couldn't do anything. He did breed horses back in Poland. That's all he did. And he was good with his hands, a welder. He was very good. But when he came here, what did they have him do? Putting filling on donuts. He was working in the donut shop. Then he finally got a job welding. Worked really hard. He was the best welder in the place. They offered him a 6-month job to leave here, go to Texas for the government. He ended up welding missiles for the war. My grandfather, after those 6 months, he went away, left my grandmother, held it down with my mom and my uncle. And when he came back in 6 months, he had enough money. He went in partners with a guy. They bought a gas station, later on, property. And, the legacy of our family today is mostly because of my grandfather, who came over here at 25 without a dime in his pocket, without knowing a word of English, and everything against him. So excuses are like assholes. Everyone's got one, and they all stink. Don't tell me because you didn't grow up rich that you got to do bad things and you can't succeed, because you can. A lot of guys came out of nowhere and did something with their life. So the problem I had with LeBron's statement was it's NBA. Kyrie made a bad statement about Jewish people. I'm not going to get into it. However, the commissioner of the league is Jewish. The commissioner before him, David Stern, is Jewish. Jewish people faced persecution just as bad as anyone on the history of this earth. And we're not here to compare. Oh, black people face this. Jewish people face this. We're not comparing struggles. Struggles are struggles. And it's hard. And it hurts everyone. It devastates families. And it goes on for generations sometimes. Sometimes it is like a curse. The curse of poverty. But when LeBron made that comment that he was disappointed that nobody spoke up, none of the reporters asked him a question about Jerry Jones. If I was a reporter, I would say, excuse me, LeBron, Kyrie is in the NBA. You're in the NBA. I'm here after the NBA game. I'm an NBA beat reporter. I asked about Kyrie because it has to do with your league. So LeBron James saying, I'm disappointed you guys for not asking me about Jerry Jones. First of all, LeBron, your voice went down eight octaves. I don't know what you're on. That's number one. Number two, the league, a lot of guys who like sports, this has nothing to do with race. I repeat, sports purists like me, I don't want to hear all that shit. I don't want to hear LeBron after a Laker game saying, well, I'm very surprised you didn't ask me about Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones was outside of his high school at 14. Jerry Jones is ready for the box. He's like 86. You want the NBA reporters to bring up a Jerry Jones question from the NFL after your Laker game. That's weak. And it seems like a guy that wants to start trouble. And when you want to start trouble, don't be surprised if trouble comes back to you. I believe a lot about karma, and there's certain things you just don't do. Like if I have a problem with somebody and it's not particularly my crew, I don't just act. I talk to the people in that crew, see what's up. Like, for example, Christopher Columbus. He's got a lot of bad rap. How many of you grew up with Christopher Columbus? I'll wait. You know shit about Christopher Columbus, except for the narratives that everybody's saying he's this big racist. We don't know the context of the time, and I'm not going to get into it. But I do know this. When people went to New York and Philly to take down Columbus, there was 100 of us with fucking baseball bats because you ain't taking down Columbus. Nobody is. Why? Because you went about it the wrong way. You sit down with our leaders. This is what we feel about Columbus. He did this, he did this, he did this. If we take him down, we take him down. That's our guy. That's our guy. He's Italian. You don't fucking take down Columbus. That's number one. Just like we wouldn't run to a Malcolm X statue and tear the shit down. It's disrespectful. So we have to have that level of respect no matter what we're doing, even if we disagree. That's why 100 of us were out there with the baseball bats. You don't touch one of ours. It's just like a guy if he was alive. You don't come touch one of ours unless you talk to us. And if we got to handle him, we handle him. So a lot of the shit LeBron was bringing up was troublemaking. It was, we don't need to talk about Jerry Jones when he was 14 outside of a high school because it was 70 fucking years ago. Excuse the cursing. So this is the one serious thing I'll usually do. I like to laugh, have fun, and just create a shitstorm of good times. So that's enough about the LeBron stuff for me, but I just had to get off my chest. There's a certain way you do things. You got to have a moral compass. You got to have rules to your shit. And if you're a G, operate like one.